Sir, anytime. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Kavash Gocha Pratis, the Rabbeinu Shalom, what a schus it is to owe you so much. The least I could do was make this speech over him. What we owe to Abish there is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. It's crazy. Anyone who doesn't chap it's Rahman, you're just living in your own world. You don't chap. Zillions of nisim and shuas are going on every second. So much simchas and so much walking and talking and seeing and hearing. Anyone that spends a life and doesn't spend at least once in a day, thanks you that I could talk. He's out of his mind. You never said thank you that you could talk? Never. Never occurred to you to say thank you. You should say it every day. That you could walk, that you could see, that you could hear. Come on. What's with you? Well, if everyone's talking about COVID all day long, they just made a whole thing for a half a million Americans that died from COVID. You got a memory. I'd like to make a memory for all those live Americans, all those people that are alive and well and kicking, and everyone's fine, and they have their children, little sweet little kids. You can eat them all up. I know you, sweet as could be. Yeah, the Avisha makes nice people, but they tell you sugar. I think there's so much to talk about. We'll get the COVID. Let's just finish the good stuff. You'll never be finished. The stomach and the intestines and the heart and the lungs. Say thank you. Every one of them. Every day. You're crazy. You don't do it, you got serious problems. How do you expect? I mean, it just doesn't make sense that people aren't going around all day saying thank you. It doesn't make sense. And you're human, and I hope there's no ladies, and you're a man and not a woman. Well, we say it every day. I'm sorry. But the ladies, the ladies that listen to me are not Shemtut. I'm not worried about them. My sister-in-law, Shalom, she's a tzaddik is Gemura. She used to always tell me, I'm just a woman. The most chashav ones talk like that. And the men also, the chashav ones talk like that, except for me. I say all day how great I am. But ultimately, someday you're supposed to have a certain humility, you know. Yeah, I'm just a regular, another yucko like everyone else. A schlepper v'yala schleppers, you know. I'm another schlepper, so I'm not the biggest this. Nothing terrible. Anyway, the ladies have a lot over them. And you know, there's two things that ladies have over men. They don't have Yehurim problems, and they don't have Talmud Torah problems. Brought down. Rav Shneimberg Sefer on Brachas brings this down. Two things that ladies have over men. They don't have Yehurim Rayim. It's a big issue in the next world. And they don't have Talmud Torah problems. They don't have to learn. So the ladies have a much easier time when they come up there. So, okay, that's enough for the ladies. Now let's get to the men. But we're going to go back and forth. Each person has to hear what makes him smile. That is Chazal's, what? Everybody has to be happy. The best thing in the world is you have an Eibishter to talk to. Reb Gershon Zatzal said, you want to be socialized with the Eibishter. Socialize, a tzavsa. Get the Eibishter. Get involved with him. Talk. Moves around. Become Hamish. You get such mileage out of him. Get Hamish. Ignore people. If I could do that, I would do that more than while the people in there. Excuse me, I'm talking to somebody. Eibishter, I'm talking to you. You got to be nice to people, of course, but Eibishter has to somehow have precedence. When people in front of you, they're real, they're alive, they're here, they're there, boom, boom, boom. They got opinions. And the Eibishter, that's the trick. You don't see him. And he's more here, he's more alive. His opinion counts more than everyone else's opinion. You don't see, that's the challenge. Can you do that? How about getting some good feta criticism? So they don't like me. So you think I'm someone who knows, so nicht gefährlich. Anyway, this morning I woke up. I just couldn't. I had no kayach. That doesn't happen to me. that's, you got to thank when you do have koyach. You know, how about saying thank you for that? So I woke up, no koyach. I didn't know what to do. Now, I don't eat or drink before davening. I'm not into that. But today I said, you're not moving. And a cup of coffee does nothing for me because I don't believe in caffeine. I'm a kaifer in caffeine. Years ago, I used to drink caffeine and fall right to sleep, right after the cup. You know, you too? You hear that? And since then, I found I'm not alone. I'm afraid the whole caffeine is a bluff, like Shane Kamayo. It's all baloney. What?
Fake pills.
Fake pills. Fake pills work best. Anyway, so this morning I goes, look, Avishta, the Welt uses caffeine to keep them up. Make it work by me. But I know I'm going to you to make caffeine suddenly work by my case. That's what I said. I took 1 cup of coffee. I was a new person. I'm going strong. I'm still going strong. Today was a great day because I drank a cup of caffeinated coffee, and because I davened that the coffee should work. That's the way you drink coffee. You don't know how to drink coffee. You put in the coffee, the sugar to put in this. You don't. That's the way a yid drinks coffee. Abishter, make the coffee work. And you connect it with the Abishter, and it's great. And the taka works best. Those coffees taste better. Abishter, make it taste good. Do it. I'm telling you, it's kedai. Go with him in every inch. Make this good, that good, and say thank you a lot. Get involved with him. Now I had a problem. I think I mentioned it recently. It's fine. Chazorah. I couldn't go to sleep. You know, I'm not a youngster. You know, I'm 99 and a half. I'm not quite there, but, you know, I hold my own. I'm not 23 anymore. But some people say you look younger than that. But whatever it is. So I couldn't sleep. I'm sleeping 2-3 hours a night. I can't sleep. And Maifsim Guluyim, do I have to be thankful? I functioned. A little dizzy, but I was fine. Don't ask me how that happened. 2 hours a night, usually years ago. If I had 7 instead of 8, I was dead. I didn't get my 8 hours, I'm finished. That's where I used to be way back, before I got into the Novandic denial club. I'm into denial. I deny everything. I'm a kaifa in Teva. Teva is history. These days, it's just the boss. Forget about Teva, Shtusim Teva. But you have to have your feet on the ground, and you have to have your head on straight. You have to realize reality. As a Meiser, Rabbi Kreiser, this guy was supporting a whole family, all his sons, and all this, supporting everybody. And then he got himself a son-in-law who was good at figures. One of those, you know, bookkeeping, one of these guys who really has things down pat. Let's get things a Meiser. So he says, my dear Shveli, can I see the books? Let's see where you're holding. So he said, yes, I'll see the books. Takes a look at the books, and after a while he says, you are bankrupt. How do you have any money? It doesn't make sense. So the Shveli says, who tells you to look at the books? Keep away. I heard this from Rabbi Kreisman. He says, what's my there? You don't, sometimes, look, don't get too nitty gritty. I'm not saying you should do this. By the way, do not listen to me. Not everybody could do what I was just talking about. I became like this not out of choice. I don't have a choice. I'm a little bit, you know, so I end up being like this. But if you're a normal guy, that everything, you know, so go for it. Be normal. There's nothing wrong. There is taka deraisa, but yisa mishuga mimari necha. It's a deraisa. I'm joking. Anyway, so I couldn't sleep, Rabbi say. I couldn't sleep. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor gave me a pill to put me to sleep. And the pill, I got 3 hours out of it. I found out without the pill, I also got 3 hours. I didn't do much. I asked him, Doc, is this the only thing? Oh, I'm going to give you 2. I took 2. Same thing. don't worry, I'll give you 3. He gave me 3. Same thing. Finally, he gave me, I got a much better pill than that one. That's baloney. Yeah, take this one. He gave me another pill. He gave me 1. Didn't do anything. Gave me 2. Kaduchas gave me 3. I got one better than both of the first 2. Gives me a 3rd pill. Again, 1, 2, 3. Square one. 2 hours sleep. I says, what am I going to do here? Nothing works. I says, Rabbeinu Shalom, I want to sleep 8 hours like a bacha. That night, 8 hours. And I stayed like that for months and months and months, 7, 8. That's what I was getting, I promise you. You get, first talk big, spend a lot of time with Svarim on Bטחון. You'll think different. I want to tell you something. There used to be low blood sugar, used to be the thing that everybody had it. Who heard of it? It's the opposite of diabetes. Everybody got low blood sugar. When I was a bacha, oh boy, they were all getting it. And you're depressed and you're fatigued and you got insomnia. Well, you have low blood sugar. You have this type of condition. That's a sign that they have signs all over the place. You may have low blood sugar. And everybody, whoever went in, they all, oh, you got it. And every guy who went, took the tests, yes, you got it, you got it. Everyone, all the guys I knew, they all, oh, you also have low blood sugar? Yeah, blood sugar. Anyway, so for low blood sugar, what they gave you was, you had to eat 6 to 8 times a day, small meals, high protein, medium fat, and low carbohydrate. Now, B vitamins and C vitamins with some other stuff, and yet you're fine. Then you'd be a little A and D, a little this. The whole vitamin stuff was involved in there. Everything, diet vitamin. And a friend of mine spent years, it saved him. But yeah, but you must eat every few hours, or else the blood sugar level is no good. He met a friend of a guy, this is my friend from Mlikewood. He met a guy from Muncie, an old friend of his. Oh, what's the with you? Yeah, I have a low blood sugar. You also got it? What do you do? I fast a lot, and it gets better. What's going on here? That's a stealer. Now listen to it, and it works. He's fasting, and it works. I'm not supposed to say this stuff. Anyway, you might call me if I get carried away. Anyway, listen to this one. Then the back problems. Back problems. For back, you got to get either you got to dry heat or wet heat, put heat on the back, and it alleviates the whole thing, and you'll be just fine. And it works all over. People take heat for, who knows about backs? I don't know what's today. I'm going back 40 years ago. But that's what it was. Until I found out about a guy in Los Angeles, Dr. Thompson. Dr. Thompson wrote a book, How to Heal Your Back. Ooh-wah. And he said, and he was a star. To get to Dr. Thompson, it was months till you finally got Zeicha to see him for a couple of minutes. And he healed, his track record was gewaldig. And what did he do? Ice packs. He's an athletic type of guy. He was into that, I don't know, whatever. They used to use that a lot for the boo-boos, whatever, the athletes. Ice packs, that will heal you. And a whole system and how to work. And he writes a book. He says, where a guy tells him that he took some heat. And he writes, I winced when he said he used heat. Are you crazy? You got to use ice packs. And he did it, and it worked, and it worked. And he was a major star. And back east, he lived in L.A. And east, they're using the hot stuff, and it works great. And he's using the cold stuff, and it works great. What's going on here? I think Rav Chana Wasserman said, so anything outside of Torah is Dvarim B'Teilim. It's got to be bottled. Whatever it's worth, today it's worth. You know what they used to give for, I'm going to kill any doctors around here? I better get out of here fast. And they put so much years and effort in medical school. First of all, anybody that goes to a doctor and listens to him and gets a big mitzvah. I'm not making away with that stuff. Do it. It's a mitzvah. What are you talking about? Rappi. Don't listen to Mendel. But when things aren't working and that stuff, come back to me. We'll fix you up a good. then we'll make a chayzik, and the chayzik will save you. The chayzik itself will save you. So what happened with the what was I talking about? The
Why do you first do the pills for the sleeping pills?
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Bטחון goes up and down. You're not always holding I'm not always chap maluchim. My Rebbe once told me he was very stark and denying no doctors, no nothing. For years I didn't get near a doctor. Your Moshe says not to take a physical. He says, what are you looking for trouble for? But I was at it at home, keep me out. 15 years at least. No doctors didn't touch him until my Rebbe on the phone tells me, go to a doctor. I says, what happened to you? He says, I noticed that your madrega fell a little bit. Now you go. People change. Rebbe. Well, a few months later, no more doctors. It depends where you're holding. People are different. You have to know where you're holding. Some people, that's why whenever I speak, depends who I'm talking to. Some people are not allowed to hear this. Go to the gym and work out. I don't know if Chaim Kanevsky doesn't work out. He seems okay. And he's grossly overweight. He's doing fine. The Stipler was around. How old? Till 90? But he did fine. Aldo from the body. What? He does? Oh, listen to that. You should know that Rav Shach used to drink a lot of water. So you're allowed to take care of your health. Mutalach. Rabbi Miller, I want to say something about him. The people around him, what? Yeah, the people that he lived with, they were not like him. We used to look at him a little strange. Oh, there he goes, his walks. He outlived all that chevra. And why? So I have my shot. Why? I have to for info. Since when does doing anything help? Go, David. You need to take walks. Since when? That's a chiddush, but it actually works. So the shot is that when he did it, he says, "You're going to help me stay healthy because I'm doing a thing that you like me to do." Then once it's Chazanish, because he is the Chazanish, how come he didn't want to go bake matzahs? He says, why didn't you bake matzahs? He says, I'm not feeling good. He says, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, so he said, so they said, yeah, but it says shmartem b'sam matzahs. So he said, but it also says shmartem ba'oid l'nafshei seichem. Don't make away with this stuff. You take vitamins. You get a mitzvah for every vitamin. Rabbi Feinberg, I wasn't feeling good one day. You take vitamins? No. You don't take vitamins? Rabbi Scheinberg told this to me. Mutalach. You can take vitamins. And you'll get a haba for it. But if you want to, sometimes when things aren't working, come to me. We'll have a different nusach. We're going to make a joke out of everything. Sometimes you must do that. When a doctor tells you you ain't worth a dime, Rabbi Galbach is saying, stark, my manal is a tight tzaddik. He told me once his father went to a doctor, went to the doctor took a look at his kidneys or something. He says, you're in bad shape. You're not going to be around for more than a few months or something. So he tells the doctor, this is a mulliga yid, mulliga, Polish yidalach, they're all the parties. He says, Doc, you ain't going to be around. I'm fine. That's what he told him. You ain't going to be around. And he lived another 10 years until the war broke out. The doctor was gone. If you live with this, you're not going to be around. There's a mice, I read this Gilo report. This guy had Yenamachla coming out of his body. And it was size of oranges, all over the place. Lumps all over. He had Yenamachla. And he went to the doctor, and they started treating him. There's heavy stuff. Get rid of all the growth. Well, we're not sure what you're holding. We're not sure this and that. And he's suffering, the poor guy, with the after effects. Someone gets a hold of him and says, they just found out you don't really have it. I read this. It's a Gilo report. It's not one of my Bubba mices. By the way, my mices are all not Baba Mises. They're all true. They're Zeta Mises. Hey, I'm joking. The Babis are just as good as us. Anyway, my wife didn't hear that one. I better watch what I'm saying. I'm joking. Anyway, but he said, so, where am I holding?
The report.
Report. So someone told him, we just found out you don't really have it. The whole thing is like, it's in your head. So he was overjoyed. He stopped the treatments. It shrunk all the orange size lumps all over his body shrunk, and he lived happily ever after for 2 years. Like nothing. It was someone told him, you don't have anything. It was a mistake. It's a true story. I read this. I don't know. I don't know what happened exactly, but I do know this much. 2 years later, someone got a hold of him and said, that was again a mistake. You really do have it. A month later, he was gone. Did you hear this? There's a guy you should report. You know, the mind is a joke. What you think, that's what it is. Sometimes that's the power of Bטחון. The mind, malach tzachais. And maybe she'll give you anything you want. Now we have a big Ezratzen coming up. I hope my jokes are good today. I have somebody davening for my jokes. I have a special Amuna that the Rebbe's jokes should be okay. I'm serious about it. I have a teenage kid. He calls me up, and he said, whatever, he's a Geshmaka kid, I like him. He calls me up and tells me his latest jokes. But he says, by the way, I am a spalal for you, that your jokes should be good. And sure enough, Shabbos, I had the Elam on the floor, and I'm choshed that's his tefillas. He davens. I once had, he said, are you here? Okay. Somebody, one Shabbos, I was really hilarious. I was hilarious like crazy. I don't know myself, I didn't know it's that funny. I'm walking home from shul, and this person, very chashuv person, just one, he's a kid, and he said his friends were once mavaza him. His friends were mavaza him, and he said, I'm not answering, and the schus that I'm not answering, Rabbi Mandel's jokes should skyrocket. He told us to be. I didn't notice. I didn't know anything. You see the schus, so the jokes are working. Jokes is very chashuv. There was a Rav Shitz's yard site a few days ago. Rav Shitz used to make jokes without a tachlis, just as long as you got a good joke. What? Steinman used to make jokes. Every other word was a joke. Jokes are in. You got to get into it, Rabbi Say. Anyway, that's okay. If you don't make jokes, you'll also get Elam Abba. So you're not such a joker. My mother never chopped a joke. What? 3 o'clock in the morning, she used to wake up and start laughing. Oh, I got it. Mother was a yeki. Baruch Hashem, she's doing fine. And then about Tischak, Liyayim Achanayim, she's doing guns fine. Anyway, did I tell you about my father? I told you about Talis Al Kulona. I told you about Ish's Chayil. I told you already. Yeah, you heard it. Okay. Anyway, my father, Zecher Tzaddik Avracha, when he used to sing Ish's Chayil, he said, Rabbi's Bono, he says, Talis Al Kulona, he's a Kulam, and you are the best of all of them. And my mother's sitting there, you know. He did a job. My father knew that's what you got to do with your wife, Rabbi Say. Yeah, Tolis Alcohol, and I found out that lately, all the ladies are starting to tune me in. I'm again on the good list, despite all the stuff that I'm sometimes, I don't know if I'm saying the right thing or not, because I never see any ladies or stuff, but just in case, this one made up for everything. I'm joking. Anyway, but my father used to sing that. Every yid has to say that. Not only about his wife, about everything in his life. A lot of people steiging. Rabbi's Bono Sasu Choyil. But I am the best guy around. You hear that? I am the best guy around. Person has to feel. My father used to say, feels like a ben yachid to the Eibishter. Do it. Don't worry about it. You're afraid of Gaiva again. Here we go again. The old Yetzirah. So say it. Don't worry about it. You're doing l'shem shamayim. So you got to get up in the morning. You feel like a nobody. So you make yourself big. You feel better. Now, there was a woman that went to Rashbi's Keva, and she gets Assyrians, this woman, and it's not pleasant, and she don't want to get too many pregnancies. She went to Rashbi's Keva, she asked for triplets. The next year she got triplets. I heard the story. You never know, another Baba Maisa. Her cousin told me, it's true, I'm the cousin. My cousin, it happened to. You go to Rashbi, so us Nebuch Lakewood guys who are stuck here, and they're not going there for Lag Baima, I recommend, the more you get involved, look through the Chazals, go over and start talking to the Eibishter. I want this Tana to do things for me. You're going to connect to him and you're going to get things right here. You don't have to go flying. You get it right here. It's all Tmimus. Years ago, I used to do these type of things. I remember once I was learning Gemara in Tainus, Chamishas Ba'ov. I needed a shidduch, whatever, and I was learning that Gemara, and that day things started happening because I was Tmimistic. You have to be a Tomim. You're learning about it. That's going to be Ma'ir, this stuff. Work on it. Be Mispal. It's going to give you anything on once on Tisha B'Av. This younger man, once on Tisha B'Av, there was a serious Shalom Bayis problems. And he said, Tisha B'Av is the best time to make Shalom Bayis because the Kruvim are connected to each other like this. So let's make something. That day, there was a ganze reconciliation, a whole turnaround. Because you're Timimus. You can do anything you want. Maybe to give you a schlissel, it's up to how much Timimus you're going to have. How much you know. I have a Timimus. I was once had to go. You know, you heard of Ridge Avenue? Anybody ever hear of Ridge Avenue in Lakewood? Anybody want to get confused? Go to Ridge Avenue. You want to get good. If you're not confused enough, whoever made up that Ridge Avenue, there's no something on my mind. He was, I don't know, he had either Shalom Bayis problems or his wife, someone made him dizzy. Or he was a heavy drink. He was into Johnny Walker, maybe too much. But Ridge Avenue is the pits. Somebody told me I had to come down for somebody. His sister was Nebuch. His sister has issues till Shemayim. I won't talk about what issues. Shrekla. She was in the operating table and so I knew the guy and he called me up. Mendel, I need you. I need you to come. To say, tell him. Have a minyan going to say, Mendel, we know that you. I already had with this. I had my Yeshuas. I remember writing down the day I gave a bracha. I found out later on she suddenly felt better. I had plenty of with this guy's sister. The kids are now they're making a minyan. So, but in the minyan starting 9 o'clock, whatever. So and it's this number over there on Ridge Avenue, Ridge Avenue. So I get into the car and I start going to that number. And do you know how many akafas I made? Do you know how many akafas? Till where in the world? I started asking, well, you go this way. I felt, Pari in his pajamas. Remember the Maisa? That's how I felt. Oh, go here. Okay. No, back. Oh, no, you got to go that way. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. So, Yehuda Maisa, Ridge Avenue. That's like, if you're missing sense of humor, Ridge Avenue will teach you how to laugh a little bit. Go to Ridge Avenue. You'll see the Veltas. Anyway, so I couldn't make it. I was late. Not stop. I just wasn't. And it was already past 9. It's 9:30. A half hour. I'm drained like a Meshuggah. This is Rabbeinu Shalom, the schus that I went around like a Meshuggah now for a half an hour should bring her a full Shalom. Without saying nothing. No tell him, no nothing. I come to the house, a smile on his face, Yeshua. I take credit for that one. So going around, you have to be there and you have to do it. You have to try. You didn't make it. Eibishter geholfen. There's no one like the Eibishter. I'm telling you, Rabbi say, the Eibishter is not shaykh. Don't think Hashem doesn't like it when I say that. That's why I say it as much as possible. I want to get on Hashem's good side. I always praise Hashem as much as I can because I'm trying to get on Hashem's good side. He likes people do these type of things, saying that they love Hashem and He's gavaldi. I say that a lot. Somebody once had a big Yeshua. I told somebody, his wife needed say thank you all day long, and she had Nisim in the family, and later on he told me that his wife started off with, I love you, Hashem. Say it! I love you, Hashem, you're just great. Say I love you, Hashem. You can say thank you for the bad stuff also. Last night I had a murder in my office. Somebody, whatever, they needed me. And they were skeptical about, can I do the job? Because I am mamish notorious. I am not nisbar from nothing. No, you're going to have a big Yeshua. I don't care what. And this was like not an easy one. Just then, I get a phone call from somebody with the same issue. The same issue. I says, do you want to repeat the Nisim and Flies you had? Sure. Someone's here wants to say, put it on speaker, and that's it. And the exact same issue. Imagine. The Eibishter helps every inch that you do. I want to tell you something. Shimba Yachai, he got his, by Moshe Rabbeinu's yahrzeit, they fast. Shimba Yachai's yahrzeit, they dance and they sing. I want to be married or something. The later Darius need that stuff. That's my first Agor on that Maisa. Do you know why Rabbi Kiva was so much sliach? Rabbi Shimba Yachai, his last few Talmidim, he lost 24,000 Talmidim. And you know why? The next few was Meridik Mashgiach Nosan said that the other ones, they know good coverage. Novandik these days, that's all they talk about. They know good coverage. Oi, so Neschinam. They don't stop with that. The Novandik is. You have to give Machabit. Why was Shimon Chai such a success? They run to him like he's nobody. Bigger. There are people before him all over. They don't go. Nobody like him. He was super positive, you know that. And he said, my Levaya, I want them all dancing. That's what Shimon Chai. And now, something happened in Novandik that I was told not to repeat, and I'm not going to repeat it in public. They're going to kill me if I say, I don't want to repeat it. 2 stories. 2 weird, crazy stories where you're supposed to be crying your eyes out and then dancing on tables. The Novandik is. So, now, I will not repeat those stories because the other is not holding by it. But all I want to say is, look at Hashem Beichai. It is Levaya, go dance. What do you say to that one? And the Chayin HaGodol Me'achov, he's not supposed to go. He doesn't even go for his own craving. He doesn't go out. He can't leave the Beis HaMikdash. So Rabbeinu Hirsch, he's so full of simcha. He's with the Eibishter. If you really, really believe, come on, what kind of aggravation out of your mind? It's good stuff. Everything's good. The Chayin HaGodol doesn't leave. So that's a smach to the Novandik minute. Anyway, but I want that to Taina. Where Rabbi Shimon Chai get this from? He got it from his Rebbe, Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was walking down the road together with Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Top, Rabbi Lazar, who was there. The biggest guns in Klal Yisrael, Malachim they were. And they passed by the Makam Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Beit HaRabayis, and they see a fox walking out, and they all start crying, and ripping their clothes and start crying. Rabbi Akiva's laughing his head off. So, he said, Rabbi Akiva, why are you laughing? He said, and why are you crying? And he said, what? A place that it says, Zar Karev Yumas, and there's a Shualam Ilchavai, defiled. Rabbi Akiva said, now why are you laughing? He says, the Navi said, the bad stuff will happen. So we see it came true. So now we know the good stuff. When we're going to be dancing in the streets of Yerushalayim, with Mashiach Tzidkenu will also come true. That's it. Nicham Tanu Rabbi Kiva, you are right. They're all masking to him. Next story. Gemara Makkah's famous story. The other stories, he sees all the Romans are dancing and singing, and they're ripping the Chachamim. Look at them, and he's laughing. He said, "Why are you laughing? Why are you crying?" And we're crying because look what happens. These Rishoyim, they machlis and mikdash, and they're having that fun over here, and we're never chazay. So he says, "Now why are you laughing?" He says, Mida Taiba Maruba 500 times more. Imagine how much fun we're going to have. You see these bums are getting it having such a good time. Imagine what a good time we're going to have. Rabbi Kiva, you're right. By the way, there was a third chazal exactly like this. That one's not famous. I can find it for you. I found it somewhere. It's a medrash. The same exact thing. This is always going on. Everyone's crying and he's laughing. By the way, his Rebbe was Nachum Ish Gamzu. We said the Rebbe of Rabbi Kiva was Nachum Ish Gamzu. And Nachum Ish Gamzu was so good everywhere. He didn't care what. And he was Nechatan Nisim Gluim. Rabbi Kiva was the author of Kol Ma David Rachman Al-Tabab. He's the Baal HaMemra of Kol Ma David Rachman Al-Tabab. Rabbi Akiva is always laughing. We have to learn from Rabbi. They're all masking with him. Now, first of all, he's not afraid to go against all the biggest guns in Klai. So, these people, whoever can believe it's a joke. And they held you got a rice kriya, there's a shreklach, and he's laughing. You got to learn how to do those things. You know what the Kosker Rebbe says? The ganze Welt is not worth like one krechts. So what happened? Your shviga start up at you again. Who cares? Or what happened? I once had a Maisa that helped me. Did I tell this over? I got into a fight. You want to write my B'tachon weeklies? I write my B'tachon weeklies. I want it to be solid. I don't want to say too much drush, I want to be a little bit solid on business. I like a brisk. I love those. A lamdan, I want a big lamdan. And there's somebody in Lakewood. I want criticals. I don't want a guy tell me what a good vot it is. I want to hear what's wrong with it, so I'll fix it up. Anyway, so this fellow is Shechma Lamala of being critical. Not only is critical, he screams and he puts you in your place. So he really gets. He is a emes miyageh b'Torah. I love the guy. Ashrei Cholka. He's into learning. I'm into Musa. But believe me, my first love was learning. Believe me, there's nothing like a Blat Gemara guy who hurries and learning. Sweetest thing in the world. Louder? We got to stop? Oh, okay. So anyway, so what happened? So the guy, I said avot. He lets me have it. He starts screaming at the top of his lungs. And I don't take anything from him. In Novandig, they taught me, Wie sein Stolz. What kind of shiftless? Rabbi used to scream at me. What kind of shiftless? So he taught me. You know who you are? You know what Musar is? So I learned that lesson went in well. I exploded on him. It was explosion all over the place. It was too much. It was really too much. So after the explosion, both exploded. We couldn't talk. It was over. It wasn't shot Papula Shel Torah. It was time for a break. It wasn't nice. And I was in the middle of learning. And I couldn't concentrate because you're all heated up. So I took Madregas Adam in my hand and I started with a niggin, the way he makes fun of the world, how silly it is. He started, you started, he likes me, you don't like me. Just a few words over there with a niggin. Calm me down. Then I started learning Vaita. Again, I started getting all tzedoodle. So I take another few lines, I read it again. A few times I did it till finally. Then when I left the base medish, he was outside, we were waving to each other like best friends. We both made believe nothing happened. It was great. But that's what a musa say that does to you. Puts you in especially Madrigas on it. Puts you in a different world. What are you worried about? You're wasting your energy. You go, do you know what? My wife, that's not a good marriage. A marriage is supposed to be an understanding of each other. They've got to communicate. They're not communicating. That's not a good marriage. Boom. Or they have different. she's not his type. There's too small, too tough people there. She's ruining him, or he's ruining her. But you leave it to all the smart cookies. Like I said, I'm not from the Chachamim. The Chacham for the Manishtana, they made chayzik of him. Why did they make him crazy? He's the only normal guy in the whole family. You have a Tam, Elisha, Rasha. The only normal guy is the Chacham, and everyone makes fun of him. The Chacham for the Manishtana. He's the only normal guy in the family. Why don't you appreciate him? Because I tell you, in the Haggadah, when it comes to Emuna, the big shot is the Tam. Try to be a Tam. Don't get him. They just gave me this lady. I once heard my father. He got along very well with my mother. Even though I made my father was Eina Raya Pnei Gehenim. My mother never chopped any of his jokes. So he went through a lot. Having a wife that doesn't. By the way, guess who else's wife didn't chop his jokes? They say Reb Noson's wife also didn't chop his jokes. Allah, you never machen mit vasa. I said, Sodas and Klal Yisrael. The wife doesn't chop your jokes. It's a terrible thing. It's terrible. I'll tell you, my father used to love to laugh. He used to come home with the jokes. My mother looked at him like, she came from Nuremberg, Yekaland. What? Who? What was that? My father says, do you chop? My mother says, what? What are you talking about? Like, what's that all about? They don't do that where I come from. The grad I heard, my namesake, was very, very funny. That's what's happening lately, I think. His chus of being funny. He was funny, even though it was a yucky. Interesting. They say he was funny. I don't know. He used to joke around a little. Anyway. So what was I talking about? Being funny?
So why can't we go straight to the Eibishter?
No, but you use a tzaddik. It goes, you go with the schus of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Use them all. Chavetz Chaim used to call down people from the other world and talk to them. Why aren't you doing anything for Klal Yisrael? Tell the Eibishter, I don't know who he called, Avraham Avinu. I don't know what happened there. But he used to deal with people, who aren't here. He used to talk to them. No. What's going on? Eibishter, what's going on? He used to say, Eibishter, Klal Yisrael is so good. Look what they're doing for you. And look at the Torahs going on in Klal Yisrael. The tiny chais with the Eibishter. You get close to him and you schmooze around a little bit and you apologize. I didn't mean it. I'm Nebuchadnezzar Americana, Grabba Jung. I didn't mean to say what I said. I told you what I did. Everybody knows that one. They heard 2 million times already. The Chassidus that didn't recognize me as the ultimate of all the Admorim. When I finally got somebody, the only Chassidus that didn't call me yet. They're all calling me, all of them. A lot of times. I just got it every day. The Chassidim are on my case, all over the place. So this one, they're rather good. I get a lot of mileage with a lot of these Chassidim. They never zook. Anyway, so I told him, I says, he called me up with a whole peckle, a whole this and that. It was 5 different major issues. I gave one bracha. And I says, watch. And as soon as I got off the phone, I says, Eibishter, show them who I am. These guys don't hold for me. Show them who I am. I promise you, it worked. They all had Yeshua's Gemuras. He thanked me till today. He had 2 weeks later, he called me again. It could be even better. It got better. Now, forget it. They don't have to go to doctors. I should collect the money that what I did for this fellow. But I said, you tell the Eibishter, show them I am. You covered that stake. You realize I once told the guy, I promised him something, and nothing happened. So when he left, I says, Eibishter, right now it's a covered issue. He's looking down at me. It's my covered. How about Yeshua? Next time he called, he had a covered. Right after I said that, he had a complete Yeshua. Whenever you mention covered, that's the issue. Hashem knows that's a serious tefillah. That man is real. He's going to get. Speaking about being real, someone comes over. There's a guy I know. That's not it. You must be truthful. Mendel, you're a machnif. You're full of chnifa. Well, he's good. Say that to everybody. Cut the baloney. Mendel, cut it out. You're full of chnifa. I don't trust a thing you say. You're phony baloney. I'm a straight boy. Tell them as it is. I'm on part of right now. I want to be miyashiv myself, since they are bad mouthing me. That I'm my chalifa. Now, I don't. In Novanik, bad mouthing you is not a bad thing. By the way, they heard the elder from Novanik loved it when they criticized him. He loved that. He would dafka say things. You know, once a lady came for a shidduch. A girl came for a shidduch, and he said, "Mi'as Hashem, you'll get a kala soon. You'll be fine." So the lady came, and he says, he's a little bit getting older. Well, got back to Avram Yafin. Avram Yafin said, "Don't worry about him. He knew exactly who spoke to him. That was a prop for your information." He out from the body, he sticked around. He said, "Oh, I didn't hear. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, yes. You know what happened to me the other day? I put on my hat, and I was a little bit, I did something a little interesting, and I was walking down. There's a crowd over there, and this kid, a nice Derek Herzog kid, excuse me, Rabbi Mendel, your hat is a little bit, oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, thanks. I walked away. I wanted to keep the pot going. Mendel, it still didn't. Oh, you're right. I got to tell him I'm doing it. Excuse me, sir. I'm in the process of a prat. Let me finish my prat. Don't you know, Novanik? The whole world knows about pratim. It's already famous. I made Novanik prat. People are doing it all over the place. They're looking for new ideas. I was makabel. You have to be mispal for a good prat. Get yourself a good prat. Have fun. And laugh at the world. It's a prat. By the way, I do a lot of things by mistake, and they're not a prat. But people think it's a prat. That's how do you think you came at Rebbe? I'm a God said Rebbe. You're part of my killer, aren't you? You're my killer. I have the most chashuv guys in Liquid. Coming to daven by me, I'm a God said Rebbe. They daven the God. How do you do that? So because whenever I do things that are a little bit strange, they say, oh, that's a prat. I say, no, it's never not. That's, since I'm a kid, I'm a little bit, there was always a problem that I do things a little bit here and there. No. We know the truth. It's a prat. You're doing that on purpose. I'm telling you, it's not a drachman or something. No. We know the truth. You're against a tzaddik nista. That's what they hold. Why not? I'll live with it. You hold up against a tzaddik. Why not? Anyway, I taina always. I hold everybody as a tzaddik. It wasn't me and everyone else. I was megala myself. Everyone's a tzaddik. I was megala myself. I'm the guy. I really hold. Ain l'shai, the guy sitting here. You guys are the sweetest human beings I ever met in my life. I mean it. You guys are all delicious people. By the way, my shidduchim, I decided I'm going against the whole thing. You want me there tonight, Moshe?
Yeah,
Yeah?
Yeah.
What time?
10?
What?
4 to 10.
4:45. That's the Musa, when you learn Musa. Okay. I'll try to be there. So anyway, what was I talking about? Who? Shidduchim. It's a scandal. They get married. It's a scandal. Now look, I am going to war against Kfida. Avraham Avinu took a stick and he smashed all the idols. And then he took the stick and put it in the biggest idol. And when his father came, Avraham, what did you do? What did you do, Avraham? Avraham said, what do you want from me? I didn't do nothing. You see the big guy with the stick? They tried to get his meal, all these idols. So he decided, he took the law in his own hands and he smashed them all dead. You want me? This is a true story. It's Hazal. Avraham Avinu didn't have a sense of humor. He certainly did. See, as you can see from this story, the big idol smashed up the little guys. It's his fault. What? Avraham, what are you saying? But you hold that these idols are real, so that should be able to happen, a thing like this. Why shouldn't it? Avraham was gavaldik. And the stories are Eliezer and Avraham, the way he made crazy of Sodom. You know what am I saying, Stein? This time he came. He hit him in the head, and he was bleeding. This time he said, "Okay, give me $100 for that." What do you mean? Those are the law here. If I hit you and I made blood come out, you pay me. I was like, yes, you're coming to court right now. You owe me $100. Goes to court, and the judge listens with a serious face, and the judge says, yes, you owe him $100 because he made you bleed. So Eliezer Avram said, that's no problem. He picked up a rock, threw it in the judge's head. The judge started bleeding. Okay, judge, now you can keep me out of this. You owe me 100, so go give him, get lost. It's a chazal. He picked it up from Avinu, had a sense of humor. Not only he was doila mashke from Avram Avinu's sense of humor too. They had a sense of humor. Way back, it's new stuff. They need the door needs a boost. What do you mean? What's wrong with that? Then the Maisa with the Chassan, he came there and he started impressing. There's a rum. Anybody who invites someone else, he's a dead dog. They take his water, they take his clothes away, but they do to him. So Eliezer sits down. He says, they see him at the Chassan. What are you doing here? He invited me. And the guy disappears. Then he invited me till the whole place disappeared. And he locked the doors. He ate up the whole suda. You guys don't want to give me tea? I'll take care of myself. Avram Avinu's slave? No. Avram Avinu was Kavayachal, what we would call a Chaverman. We know Avram Avinu a million years. We have a Shach Eliezer. But that much we can take from the stories. You're allowed to joke. Nishkefella. Anyway, where am I up to? So, what? What do you mean? Just do it. Enjoy life. You know how many people I say they're working, I'm working so hard on Bטחון. Rabbi Mendel, I'm working so hard. And it's still not happening. It says, no work, so what? Lately, I do this more than ever. I'll take care of it. You don't have to have Bטחון. I'll do the Bטחון for you. Go to sleep. But what should I want to do? They just don't do nothing. Watch this. Here comes a buha from the Rebbe. Call me up in 24 hours. I'm not kidding. Lately I do this more and more. The Novandig Yeshita is like the Slonim. Slonim Rebbe, when they came to the Slonim Rebbe, they once brought someone on his bed. Instead of, the Rebbe wouldn't just give a bracha and walk away. Not in Slonim. Rabbi Kreiser was not the biggest, he was a broad-minded person, but he was thought the Misnagid. I mean, he was a literature anyway, but he said, Slonim! They were not shaykh. And the learning and the davening, Slonim by him was not shaykh. They all liked Slonim. The Branovich, they were exposed to them. They were murdered. Big Avdei Hashem. So anyway, so what happened with the Slonim Rebbe? What was the Ma'aseh? So the Slonim Rebbe used to do like this. When you had a problem, you came to the Rebbe. The Rebbe worked with you. He made you. Go work on yourself. There's a Ma'aseh with a Slonim Chassid. He was on his bed. He couldn't move. The Rebbe says, bring him here. We're on his bed. They brought him on his bed to the Rebbe's office, wherever, and the Rebbe says, okay, now look, say, Semech Neiflim, V'Reifei Chaylim, repeat that. Say it again. A half an hour, the Rebbe Muchazach together with the Chassid. A half hour, he kept repeating, Semech Reifei Chaylim. Now get out of bed. He jumped out, he was cured. Now Slonim was, there's a mitzvah of Slonim Chassid, something happened to his Kishkis got out of place. It was excruciating pain. He was going on a long trip, and he kept saying to himself, Eibishter, you're in charge of that. You're going to take care of it. It took him like 12 hours, whatever, and suddenly he was okay. They used to horror it. So the Shita, they didn't go cheap brachas, brachas. So in Novandig, I was told that's the minute. Once Reb Gershom was sleeping, and a whole bunch of ladies came in, each crying their eyes out, all having trouble with the kids. This was kids off the derech. This was halfway off. This was acting Meshuggah. This was on. He's on the chveis. He's taking, what is it called? Whatever. He's taking marijuana. This one's taking that. This one's doing that. And they come crying. The guy should do something else. He jumped out of bed. He says, "You can do it yourself. Go daven. They'll all be better." See, the style in the Vadi isn't cheap bracha so fast. So I try. I'll teach you how to work on it. I have a lot of I have the first one here. You want to hear the guy? I kept him on. He was great. This one, he had a son, a little bubby, who was going through Gehenna. He was vomiting. His lungs were out of the whole day. He was a shreklich matzav. And then he tells me, Mendel, I want to thank you for you put me on my feet. That night, I saw Mendel said, you keep hacking it, but he's okay. He's going to be okay. So he started saying, he's okay. He's okay. I don't know how many hours he did it. But the next morning, he was a new kid. And 24 hours later, discharged from the hospital. It's right here. It's my first one. The one, I don't want to erase that one. I like that one. So it's a good one. He cured him like this. So I try to do that. But lately, more and more and more, I got people coming to me. I'm dizzy from having bטחון. They're all stressed from bטחון, you know. Like, it's so stressed. You got to have bטחון. You got to have bטחון. You got to have bטחון, and it's in market. Yes, working, not working. You're all stressed out. I say, no more of this. A buha from me. Lately, I don't get rich quick. Let's do it, man. Just a buha, goodbye. Don't worry about it. I do a lot of this lately. Which I rachmanas these people. So I get brachas. And besides, I need that. Even my batting average is 1,000. You know that. I'm the Admar that the belt never saw. Like everyone gets cured by me. I want to tell you something. Pesach time, I said that this thing, an older single can't get married. He's the type, and she's not, and he is. It's not happening. They're already. He's 60 off. Forget it, over the hill. And she's a particular. She could have gotten married 10 years ago, and she messed up here. You know, they talk about Beretto. I can't stand that stuff. He said, no, sir. They're all getting married. And I said, Eibishter, I want service in this area. Now, over Cholamayit, I heard of 3 serious, like real older singles all got married. Someone told me this. Not negate to me. Now, when the girls are negate to me, I mentioned this there. Someone comes over to me and tells me he's renting an overage. You know, this guy's, I may have asked him, he could be a Zeta. And she's also like, could be a Baba. And he says, he asked me, should I get involved? I says, yes, go for it. But it's these guys that, you know, it's not happening. It's going to happen. And not only that, he says, all right, I'm getting into it. And if something happens, I'm going to give you a month's supply of bטחון weekly. That's it. So he kept calling me in between, and I got my month's supply. They're engaged. So I said, Eibishter, right when that happened, I want this to spill over to another case. Listen to this. To one of my, I'm like severed that, my mind is on them. And that next day, a younger man, are you seeing anybody? Never. Yeah, is this guy real? Never, ever. He never done. No, he has bטחון. The next day, I saw her 4 times, and it looks like it's going to be. How did that happen? I said it should spill over. It spill over. No. Just now, I met another guy who, like, if you ask me, he's not getting married, comes over to me. Never happened before. I know him 5 years. I mean, no, they're really coming at me just today. So you see, you decide. I am not inspoiled from issue, type. He's on medication. She's everyone's getting married happily. And every time I say it, I hold this chal, a bracha, all over the world. I take credit for all the. You hear any stories of these types getting? That was me. They're also all getting married. Everyone's getting married. A new for the Habish, the Kriyas Yamsuf. It's an Eisratz and Pesach. They're all Kriyas Yamsuf issues, which means Parnasa and Shidduchim. 1 more minute, and we got a full hour straight. I can stop. Anyway, you can stop here. I talk. You know, my shir is That's when I stop. When they say, okay, Mendel, do you know what happened to me 2 weeks ago? In the same day, 3 different people. Oh, Mendel, you're so good. One of my relatives also in New York. Such a chashuv guy. When he wants to go to sleep, he listens to you. I heard this 3 people in one day. They all have the same. Oh, that's so nice. What is that supposed to be? What are you trying to say? If I go to sleep, they'll listen to me. Look what they're doing to me. I got my Mizyanis. Nebuch. You're going to see me upstairs crying to my Rebbitzin. Look what the Nebuch's doing to me. I covered that steak. Don't give me covered. It's the new generation. You know there's a Drisha, Reish Ben Beis, in your day that says you're supposed to be Mahada for your Talmidim. The Rebbe has to be Mahada. Did you know that? The Drisha says that. What? Mahada means get up for that 5-year-old schnook. I don't know what the Drisha means, but I want to tell you what happened today in my class. Yes, sweeties, I don't mean anything bad. I just got to be funny. I'm desperate to make more jokes. So we get to today. It happened today. I taught them Ben Meyer. It was fascinating. The kids loved it. Ben Meyer. I went through the Mishnah. It is the Heilige Torah is so delicious. Nothing like it. The kids are sitting there, fascinating. But then we finished the parak, and the two kids, they both asked me the same question. So, the kid steals from his father. He's going to keep stealing. So you get Yomas Zakai Vel, Yomas Chayiv. He's going to end up shooting people. So kill him now before he gets worse, So the kids asked me, what happens if the parent steals from the kid? Did you hear that? Two different kids. They both have said, what happens if the parent steals from the kid? Did you hear that? I think it does. I was on the plane. I was on.
What are the answer?
Well, what should I answer? I had a good joke to tell them an aisle. I said, oh, this is a good one. I have a good joke for tonight. Thanks for the joke, kids. That's all I care about. I think I got myself a joke. I can be even funnier. Thanks to you, 9-year-old cutie pies. Good joke. See, the new door? I was once, that I heard Rabbi Schwartz, that's how he used to tell me. Rabbi Kiva was once passing by a park bench, was talking to a girl to be thrown, and the kids didn't get up for him. Nothing. They make believe. Rabbi Kiva! We're busy playing. It's so nice. So the person told Rabbi Kiva, look at this chutzpah yazge. Look at the chutzpah. They don't stand up. Kiva said, no. This is not chutzpah yazge. Chutzpah yazge is when we'll be on the park bench and they'll be standing and they're going to say, why did you stand up for us? That's the one of Kiva. I know. Terry Kiva, look at this, but I'll tell you, Maisa.